I think this is what we were using last
I
time.
think this is what we were using last week.
No, not last week. Last time we were...
I have come home.
I have come.
Spencer has.
Come.
No. I have come home. You have come. Spencer have.
Have vagina?
I.
Welcome back to the Dive Bros podcast. We are all together now.
I am finally home again. I'm so happy to be here.
Father has returned home.
Thank you for having me.
Jacob has traveled the distance from one side of Uranus to the other side of Uranus.
15,759 miles.
Why do you remember that?
Why do you know that?
Because his mommy told him.
I believe it. Jeez. What is your deal? Why are you just like...
Because the microphone is on now.
That's true. He gets all super giggly when we have the microphone on.
Sorry,
it's either that or he gets super pissy.
Sorry, I find things funny.
Yeah, you fucking freak.
Yeah, I know. You guys are trying to make me laugh, and I laugh. Is it a crime? It's probably a crime.
Your big toe is so far away from your other toes.
Yeah,
I just realized that. There's such a big gap. Like I could probably fit like 2 fingers in there.
Oh my God. You know that's what your feet are supposed to look like, right? There's designed to...
This guy is a monkey man, just so you guys know.
Yes, I am.
He's got them grippers. He's got them grippers. Them gorilla grippers, buddy.
I can pick up a lot of pencils.
I believe it. I bet you could like turn the doorknob and open up the door. You would just pick up socks off the floor and fling them into your basket.
Okay,
and then when your girlfriend needs you, you just...
Don't continue.
What's up there?
I've definitely opened a door or two, like for sure. Do you not like just grab your socks with your toes?
Oh no, I do that too.
Like,
I just
come on.
wanted to make fun of you. I grab them and I fling them.
Why stop at socks? I can pick up whole pairs of jeans.
I don't do that. It's not comfortable.
You guys are special.
Why buy a comic that might cost more than a dime? Come meet the brothers who are here to waste your time.
Okay, so beans.
Stop making it political.
No. We used to be a proper country back when we put beans on toast. We were a real colony.
I fucking hate you.
Now we just eat the beans. What's wrong with us?
Beans and hot dogs.
You like eating wieners?
See,
Yeah, I like them itty bitty weeny wieners.
I thought you liked the big fat beef wieners.
It is the fault
That's you, buddy.
of the Green Party for not growing more beans.
It is the fault of our fathers.
Everything is my dad's fault, obviously.
Yeah, that's my dad's fault. Too.
Speaking of sins of the father, we watched Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham. Colin watched half of it.
Yeah.
The animated film adaptation of the comic by... Was it all...
Mike Mignola,
Mike
and
Britton.
then art by someone else that tried imitating Mike Mignola art but sucked ass at it.
Wow. My expectations are kind of blown out of the water, honestly, for this one. I knew it was going to be a looser adaptation because the original book is important, but no one really likes it that much type book, you know?
Important?
It's influential. A lot of people know what it is. Obviously not as much as Gaslight, obviously.
Well, Gaslight's more influential, I'd say.
Yes, I'm not saying it's more. I'm saying it's still on the list of, like, influential. It's good, but it wasn't as cool as it could have been. So I think a looser adaptation was definitely a good idea. In the first half, they stuck pretty close, from what I can remember. It's been, I think, 2 years since I read the book.
I think they changed. I'm sorry. I can't take it serious. I just shitted, but it sounded like... I can't help myself. Okay, so how I feel about this book...
Welcome back, Jacob. Now I can smell the farts.
Yeah, now you can smell the farts.
Colin is stinky baby.
I am stinky baby. I just woke up. So what I've noticed, at least with coming in the latter half of the movie, is that a lot of things that I thought were kind of janky got kind of like slight tweaked. At least with the very last scene with Batman being a giant bat. I fucking hated that ending where he's stuck that way. And then he's just in this like little fucking office in like Wayne Manor or something. But this time he's like
In the clock tower.
Yeah, in a clock tower. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. At least there's that. And he can still be Batman, I guess. But
He is the biggest bird.
I don't know. I think it's stupid to like end yourself short on that story. I think Mike did that purposefully so that he doesn't have to write another Batman comic. Because he really doesn't like writing Batman comics. So if he leaves everything closed, he doesn't have to return. Because this is like the second time he's returned for a Batman story. In the same fucking time era.
There were a lot of tweaks to the Robins, which was good, I guess. I don't really remember reading the book, or even if I've read it.
I don't know
You
if
haven't.
you have.
I don't, I don't know if
I have it. If you want to read it.
But Spencer said that all of the Robins were copy pasted to be like exactly the same.
Yeah,
They're pretty much just like three little minions.
Yeah, exactly. They have no personality.
They get axed in the story.
Super early.
Yeah, so they were made unique and distinct in this version of the story, and that is good.
Yes. I like how that type of mentality kind of extended out to the Cult of Ghoul, or whatever the hell, the adaptation of the League of Shadows, and the Talia and Raish by extension. They're more, the League of Shadows has always been a very vaguely, I don't know, Middle Eastern, Asian-ish, nobody knows anything. Like, it's always super vague and weird. They kind of honed it in a little bit. It has a lot more like clear Hindu influences. I think that's really cool.
I like
It leads to a stronger like visual aesthetic. And it meshes really well with the magic bits and the demon stuff, and then also meshes well with the intergalactic space squid. It feels like the three types of like visual aesthetics kind of blend together.
Yeah, it feels
better that
like
way.
we're not stuck in like one little spot of design. It's just kind of like it's just kind of spreading out its wings into different areas.
Like a bat.
Like a bat.
Sorry.
I was just about to say, also, they really just don't like using Tim Drake nowadays, I guess. Because we have, like, Kylie, which is basically, like...
Cassandra.
Yeah, she looks like Cassandra.
Yeah.
I really liked that this story was a detective mystery story. It feels good to go back to those roots.
Yes, we gotta find the Necronomicon. Where is the Necronomicon? This guy has the Necronomicon. Why does he have the Necronomicon?
Why does he have my foreskin?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. The Oracle.
A foreskin.
No, then the Necronomicon is bound in human flesh.
Foreskin, specifically.
Just saying.
I liked the twist on the Oracle. She's a spiritual Oracle
Holy
instead of
shit.
a digital Oracle. It was really cool.
Big
I
brain.
liked it.
I don't understand the need for the weird speaking device because she's clearly talking with her mouth, but it sounds cool.
That's what bothered me.
That was kind of weird, but I love how we're watching it, and we pan over to Arkham Asylum, and Jacob's like, "Well, it makes sense she's in there, woman, 'Cause-
Jeez.
No, it's true because during
I'm cutting that out.
No,
No, it makes sense.
because this would have still been during the time period where like hysteria was a valid medical diagnosis in massive quotations. So like, she's a bit of a kooky bird. Speaking of Gordon,
Well,
I think-
she's a female that's thinking for herself, of course, back in like what 1930s, 1920s. Yeah, you're getting sent to the hospital or the insane asylum.
I think it was more that she was a spiritual oracle.
Oh, absolutely.
And
That's
they
actually
didn't
what it was.
understand it, so they put her in the asylum because they thought she was possessed or crazy or something.
yes,
Well,
Not
they
because
thought she
she's
was
a wawa.
Well, if they thought she was possessed and crazy, then why did they allow her to have all the possessed and crazy shit in her room?
don't ask questions. It's Arkham. It's a shithole.
Yeah, it is.
She paid the Joker 4 raisins down the hall to get her a skull. Just don't worry about it.
Have we
Spencer-
seen the Joker at all?
No.
Nope. Spencer.
Yes, which makes me happy.
Talk colors.
Colors. This thing is really pretty. So it starts off, with your expected, grays and blues and browns and whatever. It's very strong. It's well saturated. It's not just like we turned down the saturation level and everything looks gray now. And then as the movie ramps up, the colors get more saturated and there's more variety and it gets more, trippy. Each like new magical element, like you get Etrigan, which is now yellow, and then you add in the demon salamander monster, which is red, and then you have, I think, Croc is green, and then there's more green magic, and like they just keep ramping up the scope of like the color spectrum, which is really cool. And then the final third is like in a pocket dimension and everything's purple and blue and it actually looks good, like really cool. It doesn't look like they just slapped the filter over it either, which is nice. And then it's like a big purple monster fight, but it doesn't feel stupid.
A bloogie woogie woo.
A big blue blue.
I said it better.
Yeah, you did. You always do. Raish got eyeballed, and then he got bodied.
Get nay-nayed.
He got nay-nayed.
I don't know. That's pretty much it. Like, this is a very enjoyable movie. This hit the top 3 of the year so far.
Yeah, for sure. It's weird that it's like 89 minutes. It felt longer than that, but in the good way. They managed to cram a lot of mythology and stuff into a short period of time without it feeling too exposition dumpy. Oh, that was the last thing. my favoriteest boy, Mr. Queen.
Chose the Crusader class.
Yes, of course.
He was throwing holy grenades.
I always like it when they include Green Arrow in stories, and I like it when they use him well as a type of mirror to Bruce Wayne because they're very different people. Arrow would tell you otherwise.
I was confused for a second when he was wearing the Crusader class armor because I didn't recognize who it was, and I thought they were bringing in Azrael.
You were so
and
disappointed.
Then I saw the blonde beard, and I was like, oh.
I feel like Azrael would have made way more sense.
I think, why not both? At a night fight, why not?
I mean, why Green Arrow anyways?
Because
we need
money.
a connection. We need old money. We need also a connection to Sebastian Stan. Not Sebastian Stan, wow, Saint Sebastian.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, the arrows imbued with the sweat off the ball sack of Saint Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for the weird Catholic Orthodox
I am too.
like
I love
LARPing
that
shit. It's so fun. Like it's silly, but it's
kind of
fun.
annoys the crap out of me.
Really?
I love exaggerating it into a joke.
Well, yeah, but I usually find it fun in stories when it's like it's clearly supposed to be mythology and it's goofy and they're like, yeah. So this was like the Holy Grail. It's like nobody thinks this is a real thing except like 2 people, but it's fun. The expanded fake Christian mythology stuff is always cool.
This talisman has a lock of St. Peter's pubes.
Exactly.
I got one of those.
Do you?
His middle name is Peter.
Exactly. And I'm a saint.
And you have pubes.
Sometimes.
Oh dear. Yeah, this was. I'm not gonna say unexpected. I wasn't expecting it to be bad, but like this was a step above effort.
I was expecting this to be like wicked fucking bad, and I come in, you guys are like, "This is good." I'm like,
so
"Oh shit!"
good.
And I'm just standing there like a 5-year-old kid watching the TV, and I'm like,
Booba.
"Why does it feel like Why does it feel like a Saturday morning of like me being a kid again?"
Yeah.
Because
I'm watching
it is a Saturday morning.
Yes, but like Saturday morning of me being a kid again. I'm watching a good cartoon. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is actually good. But they're saying "come" a lot. Yep, that sounds exactly like the cartoons I watched growing up.
Interesting cartoon choices. This was. I was expecting I would be happy if it was Gaslight level. I really liked Gaslight. It was definitely a cheap production, but they did pretty well for what they were trying to do. They tweaked it. I liked it.
I'm so glad that they didn't go the route that Gaslight did because I thought that was dog shit.
I find the difference in twist interesting. I like both versions.
Are you talking about the cartoon or are we talking about comics?
That's what I'm saying is they're very different in the second half. The twist is entirely different, but I like both versions because they're different. But it was clearly like a really cheap production and the animation was
Bad.
Very rushed. The designs were cool, but it was really cheap looking. So that was like the floor for me was that. I gave that like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 and this was like wee.
Give that a 6 or 7?
Yeah,
Wow.
I gave it a 2 out of 5.
I would give it like...
Which is weird because when we were talking about it 2 weeks ago, Jacob and I had like the same opinions.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice about it because I really don't like it. I was like, I led with what I liked, and then here's my list of what I don't like, and I really don't like them.
I think I'd give it a 2 out of 7.
Wow.
I think maybe it's just my love of Jack the Ripper themed stuff.
Could be.
Yeah.
Might be that. I don't know.
I like the Bloodborne theme of this movie.
Yeah.
I thought this movie was great.
Yes.
The latter half, at least, because I haven't seen the full version. But
Yeah.
Moving on.
Definitely top.
okay, yeah, moving on. I guess I'm just talking.
Definitely like top. I divided it into four quadrants.
Yeah, you know what I divided it.
4 quadrants.
4 quadrants of animated movies. This is like definitely in the top one,
Yeah.
but at the bottom of the top one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to move on to Mandalorian.
Okay. The finale.
I don't even really want to talk about it.
Okay, so the finale of season 3 of The Mandalorian came out. They finished the fight on Mandalore. Moff Gideon gets
Nay.
he gets nay-nayed on. He dies, and then Bo-Katan, restarts the Forge on Mandalore, and Din and Grogu are gonna go on some Mandalorian adventures, knocking off warlords as bounty hunters.
The Darksaber
Go bye.
How the
goes
fuck?
crunch.
That makes no fucking sense. It's Beskar.
I think they said, we're tired of this Darksaber bullshit, and we already screwed up with it once, so get rid of that thing.
I agree.
Get rid of it. Throw it in the trash.
I agree. It's exhausting.
That's what they did.
No, it was definitely the writers were like, oh,
Well, no
what else are we
shit,
gonna
but
do?
like, they need to fucking eat ass or something. There's something wrong with the Darksaber. Or you know what they could have at least done? Is that showed someone pick it up, at least. And, I don't know, look inside of it. Like, what the fuck's going on with the Darksaber? How do you make the Darksaber? Or, like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Keep the artifact, I guess.
They probably picked it up later.
Yeah, but they didn't show it.
My general vibe for 90% of this episode is this is exactly what I expected version of this episode. It's like, wow, they pulled the threads from all 3 seasons in the most boring and unimaginative way in a short episode that was low effort.
It really felt like the last... It should have been a 7-episode season, and the last episode should have been an hour and a half. Or whatever, 2 hours. Like, it felt like they very intentionally cut episode 7 so that they could have an episode 8.
Yeah, it was weird. Because episode 7 was also, I think, in the 30 to 40 minute range, too. It was on the shorter side. It just...
Or what they could have done is not had stupid filler.
Stupid filler.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else has stupid filler?
My lips.
Your butthole.
Wow.
Yeah. We didn't have to have Alice in Wonderland as much as I didn't mind it.
I should have said your penis.
In our group chat, I was fucking right about, like, there not really being a fucking spy. Like, it was literally just nothing. I knew it was just nothing. It's just a name. That's all it was. We already saw what one spy is. And then, of course, Spencer got me thinking about it. I'm like, oh shit, this is the spy. And I come up with stupid theories.
What happened to the Imperial Imposter? Did they get named?
No.
The Imperial Pasta is just still there.
Impasta?
Pasta. Just pasta.
That's been most of this season, and even part of season 2 was like, wow, they could do so many interesting things with it. It makes you think about it, not even like an overthinking it way, just like I'm picking up what they're putting down, and then they just don't do anything interesting with it. Like, we were talking about at like every episode, we're like, oh, I think this is what the theme of this season is going to be, up until last episode, and now we're like, I don't know. Because at first we're like, oh, the cult is bad, and then we're like, wait, the cult is good, and then Bo-Katan thinks the cult is good, and then it's like, but what if they, but the family unit, and then they just like don't do anything with any of it.
And then they're like, yeah, we're all gonna be one nation, but like we don't know what the rules are about the helmet or wearing the helmet thing. What?
And then they don't explore it at all.
They don't do anything with it.
I have
Mandalorians don't have friends. They have family.
Shut up.
Please shut up.
I have 2 positives, and those are the last of my thoughts. They're not anything crazy, but they are notable for me. One was I actually liked how janky the puppet was this episode.
Yes.
Because it's, despite them still overusing the volume in the worst ways possible with people who don't know how to use it, even like Greg Fraser, the guy who fucking made it, came out pretty recently and was like, guys, stop using it during the daytime. It's not made for that. It looks bad. Use it at dawn and dusk. Duh. And they still refuse to use it during the right times. But they're still using mostly a practical puppet. with the puppeteering on the inside with the robot bits. And there's so many moments where it's like they clearly just threw the puppet.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, it looks like shit, but it's cute.
Or when they're walking to that bar, you just see
And
Grogu's legs going like,
it
running
looked-
or dancing.
It looked like a
crazy.
marionette, and I was like, you know what? Like, that's the cute.
I like that.
That's the cute, like, movie magic shit. It would be cool if it didn't look like that all the time. But, like, it's nice, like, human fuck-ups.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's my one thing. And then the second positive is, I think most of the epilogue was okay, and I think they're putting it in a spot where next season could be good. They cleaned up a lot of plot lines from where they were before. We're not getting a lot of carryover. We're kind of going back to the format of season 1, but I think they're going to do bigger arcs. So I think if they went with 9 or 12 episodes, they format it like Andor into little 3-episode arcs, knocking off the different warlords, doing bounty hunter work. It gets us back to the fun stuff that we like season 1 for being pretty much episodic. And we still get the stupid baby adventures, but like it's not... Yeah. Despite all the additional stuff being kind of remotely interesting, like Bo-Katan is great, and the Mandalore stuff could be interesting, like, we can just avoid that entirely. We're just going back to basics.
Yep. Got you.
The bounty hunter becomes a Fed.
No. What was I gonna say? I'm having a hard time because Spencer went on a fucking tangent like crazy again. So... Please stop. I cannot think. Season 3. Oh, I'm really just pissed off. I don't really have any positives about season 3, really. I mean, except for that I think everything that we saw were all great ideas. Every single episode had great fucking ideas. Everything. It was all just fucking put together wrong. It was like smashed together puzzle pieces. I think that looked like shit. And it wasn't told right. And maybe like the first 3 episodes were probably like some of the only good ones in my opinion. But they kill off my big chunky boy. They get rid of the fucking Darksaber, the only fucking katana in Star Wars, and one of the only unique looking swords. Just because there's a Darksaber doesn't mean you have to always have it written into something. I mean, at this point, since Mandalore's all put back together, and what's-her-face is the Mandalore or whatever, right. Yeah, you can still just have it, oh, she has Darksaber, whatever. You don't have to focus on that anymore. You've already did that. You don't have to just get rid of it. I think that's just lazy-ass fucking writing. And then, I rewatched Boba Fett episode 5, because that episode of Din Djarin is better than the entirety of season 3.
Yes.
And that is what season 3 should have been. I watched that, I'm like, yep, this is what like season 3 was supposed to be. Just him not having baby Grogu and baby Grogu doing his own thing. That's literally what season 3 got condensed to, one episode.
At least the first half of the season.
Yeah, I was going to say,
the
at
full
least
season would have been hard for them to pull off, you know. Like,
at least give me, like, they should have gave us Din and Grogu all the way up until, like, maybe episode 5. Like, episode 5 or 4, that they're, like, not together. But here's one good thing. Grogu is now Din Grogu.
He's officially adopted.
He's officially adopted.
That was nice. It took 3 seasons to get there, but...
Yeah, I thought that already happened.
My brain was like, wait, isn't he? And I was like, they didn't do anything on screen, so I guess not. It's because it's been 3-4 years now of like by implication, you know, everyone, it's just dad mode, you know?
Yeah.
So it felt a little unnecessary, but like at least they finally did it on paper.
Well, speaking of rugged storytelling,
Oh.
I watched season 2 of True Detective.
Oh.
So the first season,
which I covered,
is completely unrelated to the second season.
Yes.
And I like it.
Yeah. First season was fucking awesome.
It is good.
Especially Booty.
It is told in a different style, I guess, from season 2. Season 2 is very, 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 very different. It's like there's no common characters or anything. It's a completely different story, but also it just feels like the story was told in a different manner. There's like 4 characters that the whole story follows through different threads. You're literally following 4 different characters, and that makes it kind of rough to follow. You also have Vince Vaughn doing a fantastic acting job, but he's doing a whole bunch of business speak, and he says work jargon that I don't understand any of it. He's talking percentages and buy and sell and manage, and I didn't get it. It was a lot of words and stuff. So that all kind of went over my head. It's a political thriller. There's a freaking mayor that's whacked, and Vince Vaughn is a mob guy that's like pulling strings, and he's paying off police and jerking off judicial officials and getting his way with the city and making his money. And then because the mayor gets whacked, there's 3 cops that get pulled in to investigate that normally wouldn't be, and it's weird and cool. One is Colin Farrell, one is Rachel McAdams, and then the other is a guy. Stop it. Colin Farrell is not that hot.
Oh.
I don't know. I think I liked season 2 just as much as season 1, but for different reasons. They're just very, very, very different TV shows, to be honest. It's just a lot of people hate on season 2 and say that it's not as good. No, he said it puts him in a bad mental state, and I agree.
Yeah, do not fucking point at me and say and accuse me of thinking that show, the second season, is shit. No, I just can't fucking handle it because I get into worse doomer mode.
And I appreciate you not watching it because I completely understand and agree. It definitely puts you in a mind frame that is rough.
I only handled season 1. I was like, this is probably the extent of what I can handle. This is fine doomer because this is kind of like just hang out with me and Spencer. That's exactly what it is. It's like that level of doomer where it's like the human consciousness is just something that happened that's not supposed to happen, man. And stupid shit like that.
Is that your Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I'm just trying not to do the stupid, all right, that shit, that hurt to say. No, it's bad. But he grabbed some nice mommy booty.
Oh my gosh.
I like that this season was like sex trade bad and complicated. It covered a lot of interesting themes, like modern mobsters and how city politics, at the very least, is bad, and sex trade bad. It covers some really interesting things. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but
Good.
it's definitely a rough show to watch. I can only handle like a season a year.
Wow.
Next year I might cover season 3.
Yeah, I might get back into it.
Incredible. I thought season 3 was the best one. So speaking of pornography,
No.
I read the Star Wars Darth Vader Omnibus. It's
No, you fucking didn't.
I literally did.
No, you didn't.
I literally did.
Prove it.
I'm about to talk about it.
Prove it.
Yeah, so this is the first Darth Vader run from 2015. It was written by Kieran Gillen with all of the pencils done by Salvador Larroca. I really like it when it's just one team for the entire run. It makes me so happy. It's 25 issues, and then there's also a crossover, the Vader Down crossover, which was between the Darth Vader run.
Vader Down was so good.
In the main Star Wars run, it was the first big crossover event. That was co-written by Jason Aaron with art by somebody else I don't remember. And they just did the story is like 5 chapters. There's a one shot, and then there's the Darth Vader book, the Star Wars book, the Darth Vader book, the Star Wars book, and that blended together really well. So yeah, this is about Darth Vader's rise from being the kind of like a rogue element inside the Empire, like the Emperor's little pet dog, to being like an actual commander in the Imperial Navy.
Fetch, retrieve.
Basically.
That's what the Emperor says to him.
True. Kieran Gillen did a bunch of research, and it was something that he included. I don't know if it's in the trade versions, but it's in the omnibus. It's a bunch of stuff at the back about, like, when I was watching the 2 movies, and I was told, make a story here. noticing the difference in how he acts and how he behaves around the people in the Empire between the two movies is like clearly there was like a big power shift here. So he wrote a fucking story about it. It mostly consists of Vader trying to get his own separate secret power and money and stuff away from the Emperor. So he recruits Dr. Aphra, one of the comic exclusive characters.
What movies are these in between?
New Hope and Empire.
Okay, that's what.
Sorry. So he recruits Dr. Aphra, who is one of modern Star Wars' best creations. She's,
Jacob, keep it in your pants.
She's not into dudes.
I was about to say she's lesbian Indiana Jones mercenary.
So,
but still a great character.
you can still be it. You can still be jerking off to lesbians.
I like chocolate bar. I like 2 chocolate bar.
This is gonna be a bitch to edit.
No. You got to leave most of this in. It's fine.
that one's
It's
fine.
So he hires her. She gets a team of a bunch of different bounty hunters. Some of them we've seen before. Some of them we haven't. She has her own murder droids.
Yeah, I love the murder droids.
It's evil R2D2 and evil C3PO. They're built for murder and torture, and they're hilarious.
That's hot.
They are so funny.
Wait, how'd you know that she's a lesbian?
Because
they talk about it.
Do they really?
Oh, it's huge in her role in her
own book.
comic.
Yeah.
Ah.
In the Darth Vader one for the first few years, it was just kind of it's just a vibe thing. Mm-hmm. But like in her own book, it becomes somewhat relevant. I didn't
really think she was even into anyone. When I first saw her in any Darth Vader, I'm like, she seems like she's not into anything.
She was with Han's fake wife for a while, right? That was something that happened?
I don't think
Jaina
so.
Solo, the one that popped in during the Star Wars run. It was like, "You're my husband." He's like, "Fucking what?" There's someone that he... No.
That rings no bells.
You might not be that for you.
No, it rings no bells.
Anyways, so it's a bunch of shenanigans. They go on a bunch of heists, secret stuff, while the Emperor sends an overseer to watch Vader, because he's like, "You're being sussy. I'm going to send someone to watch you." So it's a bunch of power games between a bunch of different Imperials. Some of them are from the movies. Some of them end up fucking biting it. And there's a side project going on from an Imperial doctor, evil scientist man, who's making a bunch of weird cyborg creations. He has, like, cyborg space whale ships. It's fucking nuts. So he's making, like, fake Jedi and another Grievous, but made out of a Moncal. Just a bunch of crazy shit. Just trying to defeat Vader and prove him that he's cringe, and so he can be at the Emperor's side. And Vader kicks all their asses all the time. That's the majority of this. It's just it's a bunch of internal Imperial politics strung around some really weird adventures with droids about like wanting to peel off people's skin.
Dude, that's hot, actually.
It is. It's great.
The droids are so funny.
Yes. I think the one of the better parts of this run is its length. I think it fits a very good pace, and it feels like there was a good plan. They had a set time frame to work on it. They did it, and then it's done. It fills a role, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. It doesn't feel like any of the plot lines are dragged out more than they should be. The Vader down crossover in about the I think it's the end of the first third or so, flows really well. If I hadn't known that was a separate run and like read the page numbers or whatever, it would just feel like it's all the same story. So that's a fun little crossover with the Star Wars run where it's a specific mission. They bump into, the main trio again and stuff. And then Vader does the all I see are dead men shit.
That goes hard. That gets me bricked up.
One of like the most goated with the sauce Star Wars lines of like the past 5 years. More than 5. This was like 7 years ago. Oh my gosh, it was 7 years ago. I read this when it came out.
Cliff notes from what he just said. This omnibus is the perfect length. It fills the gap that it's trying to fill, and it goes at a good pace. That's what he just said.
Where the fuck did you get this?
Jetpack, it was on sale.
Yeah, I bought it off the Jetpack sale table. The cover price is $100. I bought it for $50.
Is there an omnibus for the trades that are in between like 3 and 4?
Yeah.
'Cause I have a bunch of like trades in between 3 and 4, but I just don't. Didn't know there was an omnibus.
Yeah, the Charles Soule omnibus is around. It's not in a current printing, so you have to usually buy it online for like $90. I think they're gonna put it in a new printing sometime soon because it's pretty popular.
Well, you know what else is coming out into a new printing? Are you not done? How are you not done? What else is there to fucking talk about? All I've been hearing is, this Darth Vader book, good. This Darth Vader book, good. It good. Dr. Afra, lesbian. Good book. I like lesbian book, good.
Well,
What the fuck else?
He's right, though.
I'm right, or he right?
No, I mean, yes.
Well, yeah. Okay, so are you done?
Yes.
Oh my fuck. Another book that's going to be coming into printing soon, which I will be getting.
Stop saying coming.
No. You can't stop me.
I did. I don't know. Well, it's a book that I have recently read, and I talked about the first 4 issues last week. The Authority by DC. So
Hot.
I want to be talking about the rest because I finally finished it up. So there's a couple more stories in this, and I can't remember the titles, but basically there's another 4 issues where the Authority fight an alternate reality of the British Army, and they're like blue aliens who basically are trying to set up, on their world, they can't repopulate. They can't repopulate anymore, or like they can't create any more blue aliens because no human female is able to give birth to the blue aliens anymore. So now
Rip blue aliens.
I wouldn't want to give birth to British people either.
No. So now they're gonna go. They've been trying to go in to the Earth of the Authorities and basically set up rape camps all over the world, like they did in their world. Like all of China, rape camp.
That's great.
Yep. All of Poland, rape camp. But the Authorities basically like slap them around and say, no, bad, we kill all of you. And by the ends of killing their like big, basically that British, whatever you want to call them, the government was like took over the entire world on their Earth, and then they chopped their head off. The Authority did, and the Authority was like, we just killed your really bad government. We're not going to be staying because we have our own world to take care of. So you be good, or we come back and we blow up all of you. No more rape camp. And then they leave. It's like, oh, okay. Guess that helps everything, I guess. I mean, yeah, you stopped your world from having rape camps, but now that world's still going to be fucked. But we'll see what happens. And then, these stories are kind of short. They're weird. It doesn't seem like there's any, like, overarching story, really, except for maybe Jenny Sparks, which we get into.
Sounds like a stripper name.
It does.
Yeah, she's a hot British lady.
Typical.
She's basically Constantine, but a female. So hot. Then the next issue, I think, is another 4 issues or 1 issue. It's hard to tell. I can't remember. Some of these kind of blend in so well together that it seems like 1 issue, especially when you're reading online, because I'm reading through like Comixology. Well, technically I'm reading through Kindle.
My condolences. That app is so bad.
It's not that bad because I'm technically using Kindle. I get the Authorities free because of Kindle. I have the Kindle subscription because Abby has Kindle and all the books or whatever.
Heimdall.
And the next book is like 3. There's like 3 other people that are trying to get inside the carrier, which they're like in the carrier's in another fucking planet. I explained it last time. It's on Earth, but it's like through the realm of the sleeping. It goes through all these like realms of the sleeping psychotic man or whatever, and then it goes through the blood of the Earth, like the bloodstream, whatever you want to call it. It's all
kind of
weird.
like the board cube.
It's like a bunch of weird mumbo jumbo that it goes through. And 3 people basically go into that place, the carrier, basically the Justice League, the satellite
tower.
Yeah, basically, and they're trying to get like they want to know whatever information that the Authority have, because they were like, the Authority can basically take over every single Earth. Why are they not taking over ours? We want to know what their plan is, like what they want to do, and blah, blah, blah. And they basically find out that they're not really trying to do anything. And then this alternate reality Authorities that look like giant fucking xeno monster aliens are sending like weird, goopy things to Earth to conquer them or whatever. But all that happens, if I remember, is that they basically just get rid of Japan. Japan gets totally like, what's the word? Sanitized. That's what they say. They say something like that, like sanitized. They're like, Apollo, sanitize Japan. And they're just like, like just zooming around with laser vision because they can't do anything. All these like giant alien monsters like are killing every single person on Japan. Like so fast that Apollo and Midnight are like, well, fuck. Don't send anyone back here. I'm gonna fight as long as I can. Apollo fucking sanitize Japan, I guess, so it doesn't spread anywhere else on Earth. And that kind of happens, and then they just send. There's like this portal with the bad authority or whatever, and they kind of like chop off their Jenny Sparks, and they don't fight them again. So it's like kind of goes nowhere. And then the next one is something that's a little bit more important because basically God comes back to reclaim Earth, and it's explained by the Doctor, not the Doctor from the show, the Doctor who's basically Avatar: The Last Airbender mixed with Doctor Strange and shit like that. It's hard to explain.
I think you just did.
Yeah. Basically, he all of his other versions of the Doctor, which if you look, they have drawings of different versions of the Doctor, and Jesus was a Doctor.
Oh my gosh.
Rasputin was a Doctor. He's literally drawn like the Hellboy's version too. It's like Rasputin. Einstein was a Doctor. Gandhi was a Doctor. Gandhi makes sense. That makes sense, I guess.
What the fuck?
But like, there's like so many important characters were like Doctors before, and they're like, there's something that we forgot to teach you that we should have taught you first, because we usually tell every other Doctor later because it doesn't really matter. And he's like, why does it matter for me? And then he's like, because God is coming back. And then you see tons of these giant like turd monsters. they're like missiles, but they're like giant turds. They look like actual fucking turds.
What the
that have
fuck?
like embryos around them, and it looks like turds with like corn in it, but it's not yellow. It's like embryos of monsters, and they get sent to Earth to like change how Earth looks, because when Earth was created, it was a little bit closer to the sun, so that the atmosphere and everything could be exactly what God wanted. Earth is basically God's retirement home. That's what they say. It's his retirement home after exploring the galaxy. And they're
What the fuck?
And then the Doctor is like,
Spell blasphemy.
The Doctor's like, well, God doesn't exist. We know this. And they're like, well, if you think about it, the reason why we call this God is just for kind of a funny joke. But he definitely spinned Earth into existence by taking a bunch of rocks. And also, you know, the moon? The moon is created because of something. We don't know why the moon's here, but it holds a bunch of God's antibodies to change how Earth is in case...
It sounds like Mormonism.
Yeah, to change how Earth is, because it doesn't suit how God wants it, because God wants it to be super hot and gross. So he sends a bunch of these turd monsters, and they change how the world looks, and it's like giant, literally phallic-looking things come out of the Earth. They look like actual penises. I was looking at them for a really long time, and I'm like, that looks like an actual penis. I definitely know what a penis looks like.
Do you, though?
I can see mine if I suck in my gut. But
if
that
you need
looks
a
like
reference,
a penis,
I'll show you mine.
I can't find that. That's just hair.
I tripped.
What the fuck?
Yeah, there's like giant dicks, and then they're like, well, we have to stop God somehow. Oh shit, I just realized.
Oh shit.
You're pulling a Spencer. Did you like it?
Hold on. And they stop God.
Sounds like it. A lot of penises. He's really into it.
Dicks and shit. Got it.
They
You
stop
loved it.
God by finding the brain, even though God is like this giant pyramid that has thousands of icky pores in it, and they go right through one, try to get past the antibodies, and they try to find the brain because it has 365 hearts.
It's a bit much.
They find the brain, and they like shock it into dead.
Into
Into dead. The Authorities seems really fucked up. I accidentally bought the second book last time.
Right.
And that's why I haven't sent a picture of it, because I'm waiting for the first book to come in. And that's being reprinted
So
now.
you're reading the original run right now, right?
I'm reading
but
the
it's
first
it's the
run.
reprinted one that's under DC because they bought it a couple of years back.
I'm reading
the one that
first reprint they did.
Yeah.
They're on a second reprint now.
Right. But yeah.
Yep. So the Authorities, I'm reading the original one because I had the second book, and I actually skipped through the second book, and that one looks like it has an actual overarching story. So I just finished the first book, and I'll be going on the second book, and I actually really enjoy the first book because it's not trying to be... It doesn't seem like it's trying to be anything grand. It's just like, hey, here's our versions of the superheroes, and maybe some original ones. This is how we would do it, I guess. But there is kind of an overarching story with Jenny Sparks, meaning that she never met her parents. They weren't around when she was alive. And then when she turned 21, a letter was sent to her that was written by her mother or father, I can't remember. And it said, "Hi, Jenny, I hope you get this before you turn 18. Doesn't get it before they turn 18.
Damn.
When I was your age, I met someone also named Jenny, and they told me about my future and blah, blah, blah. You're a turn of the century child. You are going to live 100 years and not age. You are just going to cease to exist." I'm like, damn, I wish that could happen to me.
Wow.
And so basically, as far as I can tell, is that Jenny Sparks just gets reborn into different versions of Jenny Sparks, because I accidentally looked at other pictures of the Authority.
You looked on the Wikipedia.
Other pictures, not Wikipedia, other pictures, and I saw Superman with the Authorities, and I was looking for Jenny Sparks, and it's like a dude.
Yes.
And I'm like, fuck.
Once you're done with the first original run, I have the Superman and the Authority book I talked about a little while ago. It doesn't make any sense if you haven't read much of the Authority, because it's more like about the idea of the Authority. And it was a weird book, and it's not even that great, but it does feature a couple of the characters and some fun interactions, and the art is really good. It's a lot more of a Superman book than an Authority book, and it's also a weird lineup, but...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit ago. Yeah, because they're full... Since the New 50... It was either New...
Is this connected to the actual Authorities? Or is it
sort of, kind of. They got pulled in when they bought out Wildstorm. It was during, I think, the Rebirth era. That was when they got fully pulled in. So they just started getting integrated since then, and now they're pretty just kind of there now.
You're supposed to read this in between the two Authorities?
No. I just mean once you kind of have a grasp on what the Authority is, you'll just like that book. It's mostly because it's mostly Midnighter and Apollo. The rest of the team is really weird.
I like Midnighter and Apollo.
Have they kissed yet?
Oh, yeah! I mean, every time... Here's another thing. Every time that they have a battle, you just see in the background, Midnighter's going like this to Apollo. He's like, "Are you okay, honey?" It's just like, Midnighter, you are so fucking gay for Apollo, dude. You are dick whipped. You are dick whipped so hard. And it's just the funniest shit to see. Because you just see this guy that's dressed in all black like Batman. And he's going up to Superman like, "Oh, are you okay?" It's just... Oh...
Well, speaking of Batman.
Oh! Hold on. You didn't ask me to fucking rate it, bitch. I let you guys rate it all the time.
How many of Midnighter's anal beads?
Dude, so at least a solid 6 anal beads out of 7 Apollo fingers.
Can I talk about Batman now?
Yes, you can talk about Batman. I was talking about gay Midnighter, okay?
I watched Batman, Soul of the Dragon.
So not Batman.
So there was no Batman in it. It is an animated movie. It came out in 2021. It's rated R for no stupid reason. It's an hour and a half long. And it is a love letter to 70s action movies. Like, very, very, very clear influences from, like, James Bond and a bunch of, like, samurai action movies, I guess. Or, like, I don't know. A lot of 70s movies. This is more focused on being a love letter to 70s action movies than a Batman story. In fact, it feels like the DC universe was crammed into somebody's great, fantastic masterpiece of a movie. Because the DC universe does not belong here. The Batman is just a guy that went through training in Asia land and was trained by a great wise old Asian guy, and now he runs around in a mask, whereas other people that he went to the same class with don't. They're just them. He's the only one that went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. This one goes so far into trying to be a movie from the 70s that there's very clear racial profiles that are rough and probably not acceptable. I don't know how this movie got made.
I can second that.
The action was good. It's fun as a cheesy 70s movie. It's very campy, but the whole time I was watching it, I'm like, what am I watching? What is this trying to do? What is this supposed to be? I don't understand.
Have sex.
There isn't
Ducks.
any.
With ducks.
There's hot women's too.
Not
And
really.
hot dudes. And there's no sex anywhere. No sex to be seen.
He said hot dudes.
He has eyeballs.
I know, but I don't.
There's
I don't think I
snakes.
remember him being this gay.
There's
what
snakes,
happened to you out in
and
California?
there's no snake sex. There's nothing.
What'd you do to him?
I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I'm not worried about it.
I didn't fucking do this!
He just came back like this.
I know. What
He's an
happened?
I've been
imposter.
like this.
He's
He's been like this.
I have.
It's true.
Go back to the Glass Onion review. I said everybody was hot.
That's true.
And it is true.
My jaw hurts.
Well, maybe you should stop sucking dick so much.
I gave it 2.5 stars simply because the camp and cheese was good.
I agree. That's about where I ended up on that one. It was so bizarre. So fucking weird, bro.
I probably will not watch it again. I see no reason to go back.
Fair.
Pass
Another a book that I read that I'm never going back to. major disappointment for me was DC versus Vampires Volume 2. It's issues 7 through 12, I believe, of it's the rest of the series from the
Yeah.
last time I talked about
For
it.
reference, how did you like the first one?
Quite a bit. It's very silly and messy,
Okay.
but I thought it was fun. It's a less serious version of Deceased. Similar concept, and I really like the art, despite the fact that the artist is an outed Nazi. That's fun. So there's a big time jump in between issues 6 and 7.
I hate that.
It always happens in apocalypse books. They're like, the world is so... Because at the end of the first book, or issue 6, was like, basically a lot of the big head honchos are all dead. Nightwing came out as the vampire king and was like, yeah, baby. And then they took over the world.
We've been waiting for Nightwing to come out.
True. And then...
I hate you all. He is straight as...
Except for Wally.
That's like... Okay, hold on. That... You can be super fucking gay with your best friend in the fucking world, but it doesn't make you gay. You can still be straight as fuck. Look at me, okay?
Yeah, look at...
I'm super fucking gay with you.
Yeah, look at me.
That's different. You are gay. I'm not. I don't have to be gay to be friends with
I
you.
think you're huffing copium.
I think you're eating my ass.
Yeah.
You're a fag. Our thighs are touching.
No, it's your knee and my
It's
thigh.
my knee and his thigh.
Wrap this up, please.
I'm trying! So, yeah, it's a big time jump, and then a bunch of mostly nobody characters, just random, C and D listers are trying to get the gang back together to finish off the fight. The only person who I really liked in this book was Kara, Supergirl, and Constantine, and Green Arrow. Everybody else was fucking miserable. Just inconsistent character writing, for one. The plot is really like MacGuffin heavy. The big MacGuffin is like they need to get Kara above the blood clouds so she can get sunlight, so she can be Superman and kill everyone. And it's so weird. It takes place over months, but I read it in about 20 minutes, so it's really hard to tell the passing of time. It just doesn't make sense. And then it ends with Babs becoming the vampire queen, and the book ends.
The fuck was that noise? For looking at Babs.
Me. I know. I love that outfit, and I love her. She is my wife. The only thing this book has it going for it, other than a handful of fun interactions, is still really good art. Otto Schmidt is a piece of garbage, and I don't want to read anything from him again, but his art is good. I will give it that. And I really like most of the character designs. I think he comes up with some really unique stuff. I really like the way Green Arrow looks, and I love Babs' outfit. It's really cool. But the book ends on the stupidest way possible. There's a bunch of tie-ins, which I need to pick up, because there's like Deceased, there are like books in between the books. And there's going to be a collected edition of that coming out where it's about a lot of the villains and like Damien going off and being a vampire hunter, even though he is a vampire. He's just Blade. I'm more interested in that. This book was a massive disappointment. I paid $25 for it like the moment it came out. Oof. Big disappointment. Maybe it's like worth like a borrow if you're bored, or just to flip through the art because it's pretty. Massive L. I was really upset. You know what doesn't make me upset though?
Free Comic Book Day?
Yes. Free Comic Book Day is coming up 2 weekends from when we're recording this. So probably like a week and a half from when this episode comes out. It's the first Saturday in May. We are currently looking at a bunch of our new merchandise. Not all of it is here yet, but we are gearing up for having a cool table. Collin's going to be selling a bunch of his art stuff.
Yes.
And then we're going to be giving out a bunch of our stickers and business cards and flyers and stuff. He's going to have a whole hoot and holler. Free Comic Book Day, like I said, first Saturday in May. We're going to be at the Governor's Inn in Rochester, New Hampshire. It's being hosted by Jetpack Comics, like it is every year. So one, a big thank you to them for letting us be part of the event. And two, come visit us. We'll give you stuff. Buy things from Collin. It'll make him happy. We have cool swag. Come get it, bitch. And a big thank you also goes out to Jetpack Comics in general for being partners with us. They give us cool inside information. We get to get some stuff early. We hang out with them all the time. They boost our podcast, which is greatly appreciated. I know they don't listen to it. Otherwise, they would probably stop boosting us.
Probably.
Kyle would still do it.
Kyle's a bro.
Kyle's a bro. But like, I think even Rich would be like, "What are these guys on?"
Why are they calling me dad?
I really wish he would, because
He might be like, what? All right, that's cool. Let's go.
I don't call him dad. I call him father, and
Father.
I tell him I have shitted myself.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh. I feel like he would be like, what the fuck?
He would.
All right, that's cool.
would-
He'd just be okay with it.
He would.
Oh yeah, he'd probably run with it. Also, a big thank you to our patrons over at patreon.com/dimecomicbros network, Caitlin and Jeff Lorenz. If you want to financially support this show, we would greatly appreciate it. There's a bunch of different tiers with different rewards. You can get stickers, just sent to you for free. Whenever we get new sticker designs, we have a couple of new sticker designs. Hell fucking yeah. You also get exclusive access to our supplemental podcast, Dime Comic Bros Happy Hour, which is what we do after most podcasts, where we just kind of hang out, shoot the shit, have a beer, that sort of fun stuff. That stays on Patreon, as well as early access to all of our other podcasts. So these episodes of Dime Comic Bros, as well as Dime Gaming Bros, come out early on our Patreon.
What's happening next week?
Next week,
News.
the news, and a lot of topics, because now we don't have to worry about Mando. And our next show, I think, is Secret Invasion, and that's not for like another month.
Oof. We're actually talking about that.
I wanna.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's only a 6. I hope it's a 9, but I think it's a 6.
I hope it's a fucking 6.
I hope it's a 69.
Nah, I like 69.